Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is a special stock alert, buy signal alert for ITI company. We'll go into the company just fast. We'll try to make this a short video. I'll break down the chart, what they do, and why this is a great level down here. If you're not in this one yet, this one, definitely take a look at it. They are basically a company that, well, let's kind of break it down. They monitor traffic. Excuse me. Let's go to their about page here. So ITI is a global leader in smart mobility infrastructure management, the foundation for new era mobility. We apply cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and advanced sensors and advisory services and managed services to achieve safe, efficient, and sustainable mobility. So you can see the website. You can go on the website and take a look at it. You can see all the cameras and all the products they have. And they consistently get good contracts. You know, they just recently got a contract out of Florida, a $5 million contract. You know, their last earnings was really good. If you go back and take a look at the website, you'll go to Investors Relations, and you'll see a lot of the recent news and when the webcasts are and stuff like that. They just recently had a earnings call, and it was really a nice one. You can look at this transcript. There's a lot of good information on it. Recently, they got a contract up to $5 million from Florida, and before that, you know, throughout the year, you get a lot of contracts for this company. Now, what's interesting on this, let me take a look at the products here. Pedestrian all right, so smart mobility platforms. Trying to get a good picture of it right now. All right, we'll take a look at detection centers. This is you see these cameras and what the cameras do. Traffic cameras. They also they're working closely with the government for the Build Back Better and the infrastructure plan. There's supposed to be, benefits of that once that gets going, if that does get going, and they allocate the money that's needed to mobility and traffic and roads and updates and stuff like that. They expect to get a big, a lot of business from that. All right, so let's just take a look at the chart. What I'm about is the charts. Now, I've traded this stock before. We've traded it back in 2020 and 2021, and this thing was up to $8 at one point. And the $8 came about when another company made an offer to take over ITI for $8 a share. So it popped up here a couple times, and then the board declined the offer and said that they were being undervalued. And from that point on, we've never got back up to those levels, and that was at $7.58. That was just last year, and from now we're down at $3.15. $3 down here. Nothing's changed with the company except the company that was looking at buying and purchasing the ITI has also come down quite a bit. So we're also going to focus on that one for a second, and that company is called Recourse Systems, and well, look at it. It was up to about $14. Now it's at $4. So both of these companies looked very, very interested. Shares and the float on this is 31 million. ITI is 41 million. All right. Target price 788. This is just using the FinViz market map, and there's a lot of information that I gained off the FinViz. If we scroll down, a couple things we're going to take a look at here. There's not much coverage of it. The recent coverage was downgraded. Craig Hallam downgraded it from a buy to a hold from $6 to $4.50. Now remember, this thing's trading right around $3 right now. Some other, that really hasn't been covered since 2018, 19. And before that. So there's not much coverage on that. This thing is a sleeping giant down here. It continues to, we take a look at some of the news here. You can see that if we scroll down, you'll see awarded a contract here, awarded a contract here, awarded a contract here, another 1.4, 4.5, 1.2, 6.8. They continue to make money. I discussed this on our HPS watch list too, because it's one of my favorites now going forward, just because of the price down at this level. The other thing, you want to continue to scroll down at the bottom here. Let me get rid of the X here. And we're going to go to insider buying here. And we actually can see over the last month, we've had the director, senior vice president, and president and CEO, and the CFO all picking up some shares. Now, the last time we had Douglas, this was the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and Senior Vice President, Groves. He just recently picked some up in February, another 5,000 shares at 340. It's down underneath that. Again, the Senior Vice President stepped back in, and the Joseph Bergera, you can see back here, Douglas Groves, he also picked some up at $5. And, random number of shares, 602. So, he's just, they're he's adding to the stock. He's building his position here. Now he's up to about 15,000 shares. If we look at the news and the insiders on the recourse systems, you can see also there was some recent buying activity insider back in November and then the end of the year. Now it's March now, so this is not that far. But again, $6.20, $6.40, $7 level. CFO picking up some shares up here. And so we have that at $6.20. Bring that back up here. REKR. Let's take a look at that chart one more time. So that was back here, back here in the December area, December, January, this base that had and then it dropped down here to 4, and it's been basing out here. I like this one too, but very similar charts on both of those, the ITI and the REKR. We'll take a look at that 880 area. You see that? There was kind of a gap down here in November, mid-November. Now, if we look at ITI, kind of had that same gap down area, and then it continued to move down in January, December, gap down in February a little bit more, and continued to sell off. It got down to 275. Everything about it I like. Insider buying. There also some news on this. Let me go back here one more time. There's a fund that's taken a position in this. Let's see here. Samjo Capital. Samjo Capital buys a Rumble, Iteris right here. You can see actually. I looked at some of these. Added to positions in ITI. New purchase in Rumble RMBL. Some other stocks they were positioned in, reduce their position and stuff. But that's new purchases. Take a look. Added Samjo added to their holdings in Iteris by 36%. The purchase price were between $374 and $558 with an estimated average price of $482. Stock is now traded around $3.39. The impact of the portfolio due to this purchase was 1.4%. Holdings were 1,940,000 shares as of the end of the year 2021. So they're adding to their position. You have the more I look at this, the more I wanted to get this alert out. Pretty decent candle. We kind of broke through this trend line. The other important thing about trend lines, and I'll be discussing more of this on an upcoming webinar of how to determine where your trend line's going. Sometimes people put them at the extension. Sometimes you put them at the close. The trend line will tell you where to put it. Here we got a lot of shots. Whenever we come back and we have an original 1, 2, 3 pattern with closing prices, and you're able to confirm that, even though you break through it, that trend line is going to continue to be a major. It's not going to be up here. It's going to continue to be where the original trend line was. And you look for that price to come back down to it and hold it and test it either to the upside or to the downside. And as you can see, it continues to hold up all the way down here. So we're actually still in that trend line. This is a pretty good break of it. Volume started to pick up today. Today was a Friday. Was option expiration So there was a little increase in the volume. But other than that, this went down at $2 to $3. They had an offer on the table at $8. Insider buying now in the $3 to $4 range. This is down right in the high 2s, low 3s. This is a good risk reward area. The nothing. I love it. So this is the alert going out. I'll be picking up more shares on Monday, and this is probably a good hedge against the market going down too. At this point. The target on this will be right around that 360 level. It'll be this move down, that bounce that we came down here, we gapped down, and we came back up to it. So you can see that 359, 360. Doesn't seem like a lot, maybe another 40, 50 cents. But 40, 50 cents, that's the minimum that I'm looking at. I think we could get even higher on this. And down the road, I think we're back up to $5 where this consolidation finally broke down. So the overall target's going to be right back up here to $5. There is some levels we're going to have to get through, but that's a longer-term look at this stock. I probably won't be holding it until $5 unless some really good news comes out. But right now, the trade is to about that 350 to 360 area. It's 315 now. I put that circle in here. It's about a 20% move. Now that's minimum. That's our minimum look at that. I think it's a great opportunity here. And if they have any rumors or anything of a takeover, it could go much higher. Good risk reward here. We're in. The one last thing I want to show you is the transcript of the earnings call here. All right. And this is just the earnings call operator. They're talking forward-looking statements and stuff. We're going to get down to the point here where they're talking guidance. I'd recommend everyone going to their website and reading the transcript. Actually, you just look for transcript ITI and Yahoo Finance, or They have a new item that's starting to take off. It's called Clear Mobility. They said they're well, if you read on to this here, I'm not going to bore you with it. I want to get to the point where they have the forward-looking statements. Oh, clear route, 1 million traffic. All right. Yeah, in the meantime, we're pleased to be by the continued strong demand from our products and service as evidenced by our record bookings and backlogs in the quarter, and expect to see our organic growth rate start to accelerate in the fourth quarter as a result. With our industry-leading products and services, we believe Iteris is well positioned to capitalize on the investments that will be made over the next several years to modernize this country's transportation infrastructure. With that, I turn the call back over to Joe. Hey, Joe. They said that given the increase in federal funding from the IIJA and the impact of supply constraints on agency operations, we believe the timing of Clear Asset launch is favorable. As you may recall, the other offer asset management says cloud-enabled management services. Several agencies, including Georgia Department of Transportation. They go into some other things. 3,000 intersections adopting the model. To date, we have achieved meaningful consumer validation, and agencies are increasingly interested in this form of process to mitigate the labor supply shortage they face. All right. Given our market leadership, superior solutions, I like these words, superior solution portfolio and timeliness of our value proposition, we are well situated to implement certain price increases to offset the increase in our costs of goods sold and better capture the full value of our solution. So they're talking about that. They're in a good position. Of everything here out of this was very, very positive. Therefore, we anticipate continued booking growth in our fourth quarter and beyond, even though results may fluctuate from quarter to quarter, especially as we continue to pursue multi-million-dollar contracts, including complex agreements with large private sectors. Based on our current record backlog and anticipated booking growth, we anticipate double-digit organic revenue growth in the fiscal 22 fourth quarter. However, we are lowering our full-year revenue guidance to 134 million to 136 due to supply constraints and third-party product delays. The new full-year revenue guidance represents year-over-year revenue growth of 14% on the low end and 16% on the high end. So everything looks really good. I had some questions to answer, mostly on supply chain. I did a lot of research. It's nothing here that I find bad. I think it's a perfect opportunity. Again, one more look at the chart, ITI, all the way down here. I typically circle these, put a circle in when I'm getting interested in this. And at this point, this one is back on the radar. And let's not just forget the other one too. The REKR could be back on the radar too. The one negative on this, when I was looking through all the news on this, that's IAC. That's not the news I was looking. I was digging down deep. When I was looking back at their news, I'm seeing a lot of class action lawsuits. A lot of class action lawsuits on this one. And I didn't look into it, but that's all I'm reading here. So there's something overhanging this country. Maybe it's the way they went ahead and did their business. I don't know. But that's one thing that's just a big... I don't know if we're past that, though. Deadline alerts, because at this point, then we start to not see much more of it after this. Since August 21. Haven't seen anything else here on it. Personally, I'm taking the ITI, so look for an additional entry Monday on this, and watch the volume. We might have some good volume on this. Once the volume starts to pick up, I measured this out a couple years ago when we were trading and saying, watch these contracts. These contracts come with these volume spikes. These big green volume usually had a little follow through, a couple days follow through. This was trading up at 657. We haven't really seen any good upside volume except as of today. So going into Monday, the alert is out there. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the markets. DayTradingRadio.com, broadcasting live every day. I'll see you Monday. I'll be picking this up probably in the morning.